Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. It means a lot if you guys keep looking. If you guys keep looking, I'll keep making. And today we're back with our Power Rankings and Predictions podcast. I have two special guests with me. The usual. We have Skylander.
Hello, everybody. How's it going?
And Underdog.
What is up, Spencer Gang?
And these are the two. Wait, what? What'd you say?
I said Spencer Gang.
Oh, okay.
The Spences. What's up, Spences? That's what you got to say.
We're not Jake Paulers. It's okay. No. So what's up, guys? I mean, for me, this season has been so interesting to see the fan base react to. So I'm curious what you guys think down below. So before we get any of our power rankings out, what are your power rankings? Tell me down below. And if they're not absolutely idiotic, maybe I'll like them. All right, guys. What are our thoughts on the season? So we have the power rankings part of this podcast, but there's also the predictions and thoughts part of it. Give me your thoughts on the season so far. Me personally, I think if I had to rank the episodes from best to worst, I go with 4, 1, 3, 2. What's your ranking of the episodes?
Underdog, you go first.
1, 4, 2, 3. I think 1 and 4 are like the top two, and 2 and 3 are the bottom two.
Agreed.
You can sort of interchange them though.
We have them swap. I have them. I have yours, except like swap 1 and 2 and swap 3 and 4. But yeah, basically this is the same thing.
Yeah.
And then
so mine is 4, 1, 3, 2. So 4 top.
Yep.
I just think that like now episode 1 could be a better episode just because of how longer it is. But if episode 1 and episode 4 were both the same amount of time, I think episode 4 would be better. So I just kind of have episode 4
Agreed.
higher than episode 1. Obviously, great premiere. Episode 3, I still think it's a good episode, but it was a little too like advantage focused. Yeah. No. Episode 3 was the Brad vote off.
Yeah.
And then episode 2. I think just too Yasa heavy, honestly. Just got too much content for them. It kind of made me not want to see them. So I think episode 2 is the worst episode, but it's not a terrible episode as far. I think this season has been pretty strong. Could be recency bias. I don't care. I like this season.
And Underdog. So I haven't got to talk to you since I think what is it now? Like the post game show from not this week, but the last week, right? Did you pop in for that or?
Yeah, we haven't chatted in I think 8 days.
Exactly, and that was the episode that everyone really hated. And so I haven't got to talk to you. How do you feel about like the channels like The Specialists and people on Twitter just really trashing on the show? Like I watched the Specialists little the recap show. It was they went for 39 minutes, and the entire time they were trashing on the show, like heavy negative. How do you feel about that? Do you think that's like well, first of all, have you seen this, or is this like are you hearing about this for the first time? Do you agree with it, and to what extent do you disagree or agree with it?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I don't really go on Twitter to try and save my sanity, and I also avoid Reddit for the same reason. But I did hear that the Specialists were kind of dumping on it, which. To be fair, I said it. I thought the last episode was a mixed bag. It was fun, but it was definitely too advantage heavy. Mm-hmm. I think they definitely righted the ship this week, and everyone, it seems, agrees with me on that assessment. So, I mean, I think the season as a whole, if they keep in this direction that they're going with this last episode, it's going to be fine. Like, there's not going to be a huge issue with it. But the fan base always reacts this way. I feel like to new seasons. And you just got to give it some time to simmer down.
Yeah, I think what it is that the fan base wants what has worked in the past. And sometimes what's worked in the past is old, and we need to try new things. Now, that doesn't mean that everything that they try that's new is good. Obviously, Edge Extinction kind of proved that wrong. But so when Jeff makes this argument, well, when I try new twists and you guys hate it, it's like you hated the idols, but now you like them. Well, yeah, but not every twist is as good as the idols, or not every twist is as good as tribe swaps. There's certain twists that stick because they're good, and there's certain ones that don't stick because they're bad. And so I feel like when people try and just like only go into one box, where either it's really good or really really bad, sometimes it's more of a mixed bag, like you said. All right, guys. Do you all want to just get into the power rankings? I'm really curious. Obviously our mathematician is back, so we can do some more averages and do some more calculations and all that stuff.
All that good stuff. Yeah.
Well,
outrunning Brad in a cross country race. I did run faster than Brad confirmed.
Obviously. I think I actually got one more thing to add on from what Spencer just said. I think like people get way too mad for at Survivor experimenting new things because obviously it does work sometimes. We've seen seasons where it does work, and I feel like this is like definitely an experimental season. So I don't think like people should take to too harshly. Now I do think people should say if an advantage is bad or not. So production, we can try to make production do it again. But I don't think people should get mad for production at least trying to make Survivor not stale because people in the past have said Survivor is stale, so they're just trying to avoid that.
I agree, and I think overall that when you look at Survivor, when they try new things and it works, it really, really works. And when they try new things and it doesn't work, it really doesn't work. And so you have to fail a few times and have a few episodes where the specialists are just absolutely bagging on you to have the episodes where everyone's praising your show and saying that was a great hour of television and such as. All right. So now, for those of you who don't know the format of this show, we do our power rankings 13-1. 13 being the person who we feel like is either playing the worst game or is going to go next. They usually those align. Sometimes they don't, and then we'll kind of have to make a decision as to which one we do. But yeah, overall, 13 bad, 1 good. 1 is the person who we feel like is playing the best game, aka not going home. 13. Person going home, aka playing the worst game. So we start at 13 and go up to 1. Some shows go from 1 to 13, but we go from 13 to 1. And we go in the order of me, Skylander, and Underdog. So I'll start out. My 13, I have Genie. I think Genie is in a spot where obviously the argument that people are going to give as to why is she in your last place spot, because we saw her, finding a beware advantage, in the next time on. The issue is, I'm guessing that beware advantage, I think we're all on the same page here, is probably the Go AstroTurf one, right? It's Brad's old one, right?
Yeah.
And so if that's the case, now we would need Luvu to find theirs. I don't see Luvu going out to find theirs because they're probably more concerned with a swap or a merge. I don't see Luvu finding theirs in the exact same episode, in the exact same day period. And if that's the case, that is useless. That advantage is useless. And I do not see Ricard or Chantel flipping on each other at this point. I really don't see why it would benefit either of them. I just that would shock me. And I don't think they would edit it that like crazily, where like all we've gotten from Ricard and Chantel is never targeting each other, never having an argument, always sharing everything. So I don't know why they would blindside each other, and that leaves her in a 2-1 vote spot where all she has is her shot in the dark. It's close between her, my 12, and my 11. But I feel like overall she definitely does take the cake as the last placer for me, because I feel like she is the biggest shot going home next for sure.
Yeah, and same sentiment as you. Jenny's also my 13th. I mean, if it is Brad's broccoli advantage, obviously the best she can hope for is that Luvu finds the advantage, and they probably won't because we haven't really we've seen strategy now from this episode, but no really like advantage finding. The only time they found advantage is when it was blatantly put in front of them in episode 3. So there's that. And also, even if she finds that it doesn't get activated, she loses her vote. The best thing she can hope for now is a Ricard and Chantel fire making challenge for Ricard and Chantel to vote for each other and just stick with that the entire time and never vote for Genie, which I just don't see happening. I don't really see them doing it now. I mean, I guess they could possibly be that Genie somehow gets her idol and idles out one of the players, but I just think that's a bit too far-fetched to happen.
I mean, for me, I feel like if she gets the idol, she might just not even take the beware advantage because she doesn't want to risk losing her vote. Then again, her vote's kind of useless in this scenario if they don't flip on each other. But if she does have an idol, but Chantel's smart enough to vote for Ricard instead, and then she plays her idol for herself, and she votes for Chantel. Now it's a tie between Chantel and Ricard, and I think from there you would have a fire making challenge. I feel like that's the only realistic scenario where they have a fire making challenge, and even then that's kind of far fetched.
Yeah, I mean. And I guess I could now. This is a very small likelihood, but I guess I could see one of them if Jenny doesn't get her vote taken away. Be like, do I really want to go to Ricard, or Ricard be like, do I really want to go to Chantel to merge? and to try to flip and use Ginny because Ginny basically, but exactly, like I don't see that, but like that could happen, but I just don't see that happening, and that's Ginny's really one way out. And Uwa right now just isn't looking that good for challenge strength either, so they have a high likelihood of going to Tribal Council because even though Lubu tried to throw, they still lost, and they have Ricard, Chantel, and Ginny. Brad, Sarah, and JD. I would say especially Brad and JD, pretty physical people. I don't really think Ricard has shown to be that physical. Jenny obviously isn't. I guess Chantel's their best hope. And so, it looks like they could be going to Tribal Council again, and Jenny's in a very bad position if they do go to Tribal Council.
Agreed. Underdog.
Was Jenny your number 13 pick, Skylander?
Yep.
Okay, I do not have her number 13 because I have Erica at number 13. She has not been getting content all season, and then now all of a sudden, Erica's getting content because we're gonna try to throw the challenge to get her out. Of course, that fails because they're just too good of a tribe. Even when their strongest assets aren't trying to win, they're actively retying knots. They're still able to win because their secondary good players are still better than the Uwa tribe for some reason, which is just insanely sad. But anyways, Erica is completely on the bottom of that tribe. I feel like we're scared of women's alliance thing is not true that they showed in the preview. I don't really think that that's actually going to happen. If they go to tribal, which the specialists are saying it is in Luvu's best interest to go to tribal in Phil's opinion, and they're probably going to try to throw the challenge again. She has a very high likelihood of going home, whereas Jeannie is probably going to use her shot in the dark or find the Beware advantage, which potentially could turn into an idol for her, but I'll get to that in a little bit. I feel like Erica just doesn't really have a path to win at this point.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've been saying for a long time. Okay, so for me, I also have Erica at 12.
I got Erica at 12 too.
There we go. I'll speak for you then. I think we probably agree on this. I think really what it is that Deshaun, Danny, and Sydney are the power trio in this tribe, and that leaves Nasir, who's not connected, Heather, who we know is not very connected either, and Erica. And the person out of those three that they want to target is Erica. Right, we've only heard two names really thrown around on this tribe, aside from obviously Erica throwing around Sydney's name, and those two names are Nasir and Erica, and that's why they're both very low on my list. Because if you only heard two names, there's no way that they're just going to pop up, Deshaun or Danny or Sydney's name all of a sudden. It doesn't make any sense. We gotten two people thrown around, one very recently and one like up and down. So it's gonna be one of those two. You would think so. Now it's just a matter of if they try and throw it again. I think they'll succeed this time because they'll be more deliberate. But I feel like they would have shown that in the preview, like, oh, now we're gonna try and throw it again. I feel like that would have been nicer to show in the preview, and so they probably would have if that actually happened. So I'm concerned that they just tried not to throw it, and they just win the challenge, and they go into the merge with 6, which is not good for anyone on that tribe, except maybe like Nasir, who's probably going to flip anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I basically have the same sentiment as that. Now, I feel like Erica was too obvious of a boot in last episode for her once came the challenge time.
Yeah.
And if she gets edited like that again, she might not get voted out. But if they do go to Tribal Council and it's between Nasir and Erica, I definitely would put my money on Erica getting voted out over Nasir.
I agree. Okay, Underdog.
So I have Jeannie at 12. Obviously, you guys talked about her. So she has two different options. She seems like she's willing to play the shot in the dark if she has to, which is not a bad move for her. Her vote doesn't mean anything. She's outnumbered, so she might as well. If the Beware advantage is actually Brad's old broccoli idol, then she has to rely on Luvu to potentially find it, which, I would say there's a more than 16.7% chance, as Voce would tell us, that Luvu finds their idol, which means she has a greater chance of finding that idol and then playing it and getting someone out of the game than her shot in the dark actually working. So she has two potential options of being safe and getting one of the two power players out of the game. And at that point, if you're on a tribe of two, like we've only seen that one time, and both of them made it to the final four, you're extremely non-threatening if you're on a tribe of two and then you get absorbed. They're probably, especially if she gets absorbed into Luvu, like she's probably going to be used as a swing vote as a them. Yeah, they'd probably merge actually, but still, she'd probably end up being a swing vote rather than an easy boot, in my opinion. So if she can pull that off, I think she has a great path to the end game. Actually, I don't think she's going to win, but that's why I have her above Erica, because she might have a path to the end game if that works out.
But it's very slim, though. You will say, right?
That's why she's at 12. I mean, I'm not saying that it's a good chance. I'm just saying she's above Erica.
What I'm worried about for the people that come out of UA is that they'll end up like the healer tribe, right? So in HHH, right, you have the big tribe, which is the healer tribe, right? And then the hustlers. So you have the big tribe, which is like the hero tribe. They have the most numbers. In the middle is the heroes, and then with like the least numbers at 3 is the hustlers, right? Okay. Now, at this time, right, we're looking at a tribe in which there's 6 healers. I think there's 4 hustlers, is it? And then there's 4 heroes, and then 3 hustlers. Now the hustlers are able to skate through the whole post merge, and they combine with the heroes to vote out the healers. But after all of the healers are gone, obviously except Mike, they then just turn on the hustlers because there's less numbers there. So even if Ua and Yase link up at the merge, as soon as Yase's pagonged the entirety of Lugu, they're just going to now turn to Ua and vote them out. And so that's what I'm worried about for the Ua tribe. If they lose again and then go to the merge, now you have two people. So even if you combine with the Yase tribe and you're able to vote out all of the Lugus, then the 4 Yases will just turn on the 2 Uas and vote them out. That's an easy pickings, for me at least.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to be clear cut as that, obviously, but yeah, I think it's a bit too early even now with one episode to kind of predict all that, but that could happen. But I mean, it's just so hard to predict what could happen. But True. I mean, Jenny obviously is not in a good position no matter what. And I think she has almost 0%. I think she had not almost. I think she has a 0% chance of winning the game at this point. I just cannot see how she wins the game at this point. I mean, she has a higher chance of me than winning the game, but I mean, I'm not even playing on Survivor, so I have a higher chance to win Survivor 41 than Jenny does. Okay, and I'm not even there. So
there we go, 100%. There we go. All right. What are we at? 11 now, or does someone not get their 12? No, 11 now, right?
Yeah,
we're at 11.
Who do I have? I have Heather. For me, I feel like I'm really convinced that the Lulu tribe is going to lose, and if they do, I'm looking at Heather. Or sorry, at Erica to go. But if they decide to switch it from Erica to somebody else in that 3, they probably take out Heather or Nasir. And I personally think they take out Heather first, just because Heather's someone who's not connected at all. Nasir's just Nasir is just so crazy that they almost might keep him because they might feel like they can beat him at the end. I feel like they feel like Heather is just so out of it and not even in the game. But then again, I also have Nasir not too far away. So really for me, it's Nasir and Heather are kind of in the same boat for me. But this is Heather at 11 for me.
Yeah, I have Nasir a bit higher, but at 11, I also actually have Heather. I just don't really know what to do with her.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten, obviously got that thing from her in the last episode, but I don't even think she might have gotten one confessional from that. So I still just kind of don't know what to do with her, and Lulu could always just go the Born option and go out Heather. I think they're less inclined to do that because they're so close to the merge, but I just really don't know what to do with Heather, so I just kind of put her here.
I don't have Heather at 11, but I have her pretty close. I have Tiffany at 11, just because she's on a smaller tribe that's more likely to lose and seems to be maybe more on the outs. Xander has the potential to have an idol, which could send her out of the game, or she seems to be the second option to go home if it's not Xander. Versus, I feel like Heather might be. It's debatable between her and Nasir as the second option to go home. So that's why I have her at 10, so I might as well just say I have Heather at 10, Tiffany at 11. They're both kind of the same archetype. They both struggle in challenges. Heather's getting purpled, so maybe she might make it a little farther because purple players usually don't go before the merge. Tiffany could go before the merge as a challenge liability, but then again, we're getting to the point of the season where challenge liability doesn't mean as much. There's not going to be too many more pre-merge challenges, and then you're going to start to want to eliminate the physical players like Danny. So both of them might be in a little bit better spot, but I have Tiffany at 11 and Heather at 10.
Well, I guess I might as well say it. I have Tiffany at 10 and Heather at 11. So,
I have Tiffany at 10 as well.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like Tiffany might annoy her way out of the tribe, honestly. She seems like a pretty annoying person that you really don't want to be around, in my opinion. And so that could always happen. We kind of saw in like the preview that it's like, let's go check Xander's bag. And we're like, but they know he has an extra vote. Like, what is he? They know he has an extra vote. He told them that. So
yeah.
What is he hiding? And they know he has the stupid three-way shield immunity idol advantage too. So like, there's even if they find that stuff, like it doesn't matter. They already know about it. And then she's like, "Oh yeah, it's Heather." And she fist bumps me on. I'm like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." It'd be satisfying to see Tiffany finally go out, but and even if she makes it the merge, just Tiffany's not going to win at this point. Like, it's not happening. She could make it the merge. I could see that. Yeah, I would hate for Xander to go pre-merge and have Tiffany be there. That just doesn't sound right. But
yeah,
which is why I have Xander higher. But yeah, Tiffany, another player that's kind of like she has like obviously Evie and Leon. I don't think that's when they're going to go home. So it's between Xander and Tiffany. And if I was in that situation, I'd vote out Tiffany, obviously. But I'm not Evie or Leon, so I don't really know what they're going to do.
I agree. I feel like right now Tiffany and Heather are just kind of floating around right now as people who like on paper should go home, but they're probably not gonna go home. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's one of those things where like on paper, you like just looking at like their overall gameplay, they should go home. But like if I wouldn't be too nervous if I had to like bet some money that they're not gonna go home next week. But at the same time, you can't put them above an 8 and justify that. You know what I mean? So they kind of fall in this 11-10 range.
All right, so at 9 now? Right. Underdog, you said your 10 right was Heather, right?
Yeah, so we're 9.
All right, cool.
I have Nasir at 9. Again, just like I was saying earlier, I put Nasir and Heather in the same box where they're not nearly as bad a spot as Erica, because Erica had literally a whole episode, like a whole 2 segments just dedicated to trashing on her. So obviously she's gonna be the lowest on Luvu. But as far as the other people here who aren't in the power trio of Sydney, Deshaun, and Danny, that leaves Heather and Nasir, and so that's why they end up here before my top 8. I feel like once I get to my top 8, now you're looking at players who I feel like I'm confident in both getting far in the game and being able to win in the game.
Okay, so my 9, Nasir's close. He's not 9, but my 9, unfortunately, I have to put Xander Hastings. So we can say like keep the challenge strength all you want, but at this point with the merge being so close, I feel like Evan and Liana definitely now more than ever are less inclined to keep strength, which I mean they obviously don't care about anyway. So like they're even more less inclined to keep Xander, and Xander has 2 advantages or whatever that he has. He has an extra vote which he can't use, but if his thing is activated, he can use it, which everyone on this team knows. Like the 3 other people know about his advantages, so they might just want to get that liability out of there. Now, obviously, I wouldn't vote out Xander because I feel like Xander is going to be pretty loyal to Evie and Leon at this point, but they voted out Voce, which didn't make any sense. Like, again, I can make a whole video about this, how voting out Voce made almost no sense. No, it didn't almost make no sense. It made no sense. I'm getting sidetracked. I just if Xander is in the tribal council next episode, which they could avoid, Yas has been on an immunity streak, surprisingly, all thanks to him, basically. But so I think he could be in a tough position, especially because they might just want to, get the physical. Like usually there's every couple seasons there's that really physical guy that gets voted out right before the merge. That could be Xander in this case.
I see that. Underdog.
My number 9 is also Xander because, he seems
my
to
number
be.
8, Xander.
We have the exact same, like our 12 and 13 were the exact same. Our 10 and 11 were the exact same, and I think our 8 and 9 are the exact same.
Okay.
We'll have to see.
You want to give
because
opinions on Xander?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, they know all the advantages he has, so they know like he doesn't have a vote at this point. He has a steal vote, which has no power at this point. And if he makes it to the merge with those two things, he could potentially flip on them, which would be really bad given all the tools that he has in his back pocket. And like they seem to want to really be big on this women's alliance, so he just doesn't seem to be in a bad, or he doesn't seem to be in a good spot physically. They might want to keep him, but again, like you said, the physicality doesn't really matter at this point, and I might just want to take him out to get an advantage in the post-merge individual challenges. But I think he is a good enough player to at least maybe maneuver himself into the merge.
Okay. All right, so number 8. What do you got?
My number 8 is Xander. I just said that. And yeah, I mean, Xander for me, exactly what you guys said. I feel like Xander is the obvious boot on this tribe. And whenever you're the obvious boot, I can never really put you any much higher than like an 8 or a 9 spot. And honestly, he's the most confident person for me that I can still call an obvious boot. Like, I'm confident in him because of his edit, not really because of his gameplay. Although I will say overall as a person, I'm confident in him, and also from an edit perspective, I'm confident. It's just from from a game spot, the spot he's in the game, I can't put him any higher than like an 8 or a 7 at most. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I said Nasir's not much higher than Xander, and that's because he's right after Xander. Nasir's my number 8.
We literally have the same exact picks. It's crazy because I have Nasir at 8 too.
Yeah. Erica
did not plan this, I swear.
Yeah. Erica is obviously the obvious boot from there, but I feel like they're definitely less inclined to vote out Heather at this point. I just don't really see why they would. And that leaves Erica and Nasir, which I think Erica would go home over Nasir, but obviously I don't think Nasir is in a good position. We've seen multiple times how he can throw himself under the bus. I mean, seriously, first episode, good. Second episode, bad. Third episode, good. And like, it's just, it's so weird how they're constantly like throwing him under the bus and then they bring them back up as like, oh, he's actually a really good player. And then threw him right back down. And they kind of brought him back up this episode with Deshaun being like, oh yeah, I like Nasir or whatever. But I just didn't want him to win the challenge. So it seems like people like Nasir kind of, but they just might not want to have him around in the merge. He definitely seems like a sporadic person. But the crazy thing is that he wasn't really even the main focus this episode. It was more of Erica and Deshaun. So that could be a good sign. Yeah, that could be a good sign that he doesn't get rid of that, but it also could be like a bad sign. I'm not sure really. Yeah. So yeah, I just can't really put Nasir much higher than where I have him. So yeah.
I'm worried for him just because if it's not Erica, it's probably him or Heather, and that's a half chance of going home. That's never good. You know what I mean? Yeah. I feel like personally, I feel like Erica's good to get to the merge, and then she'll probably be like maybe like the merge boot just because like the whole Lou tribe is just gonna flip on her, and I feel like that's what they're setting her out to be, not like a pre-merge boot, because that'd be almost too obvious to be a pre-merge boot. And if it's not her in the pre-merge and they go to tribal, it's Heather and Nasir, and I don't know why. Like, voting out Heather would be stupid. She's not a threat. Nasir is. I feel like in this spot, I'm actually less confident in Nasir than I am Heather. I feel like Nasir is in a bad spot here because he's gotten not a ton of personal content, and his edit isn't some edit where it's like you have to get to the merge. Like Xander, his edit's almost like untouchable. You know what I mean? Like a person like Danny, untouchable. You know, a person like Chantel, untouchable. But he doesn't really have like that untouchable edit, and so I feel like I'm not like overly like he needs to get to the merge, or else the whole show is just, oh my god, you know?
Yeah, Underdog, you got any more things to add about Nasir?
Yeah, this is basically more talking about what we were saying about him in the preseason. He's a very likable player. Everyone seems to like he has a good social game. If he gets to the end, he wins against most people, which is why he's a little bit higher up than maybe he would be in terms of like his social standing in the game, because there are people that have been gunning for him and he's made some blunders, but like overall, I think he's a likable enough guy. I don't think he's going to flip on the merge. I don't think he's going to get flipped on by the rest of Lulu people. So I think he's in a decent enough spot to where I have him out of my bottom 5.
I think he's like a Janet type of person where like everyone says if he gets to the end, like he's gonna beat everybody, but I don't think Janet beats Tommy in 39. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like
but I think Nasir has way more game ability than the Janet, if I'm being honest.
I really don't, honestly. I feel like
I disagree.
Nasir, I think that because like what has he done so far? He's made blunder after blunder after blunder. He's made no really like number
I just
one
have more
bonds.
confidence in this year can make a better like. I know we haven't seen it, but I just have like this is just like a gut feeling that I just think that
I understand.
Nasir,
I just I look at Janet's ability as a player, and I look at what Nasir's done, and I just look at Janet, and she's like miles ahead of what
to be
Nasir
fair
was at this point.
Janet had a whole season under belt at this point, and Nasir has only 4 episodes.
No. I'm talking about like where Janet was at this point in the game.
Oh, okay.
She was miles ahead of where Nasir was social positioning wise. No blunders nearly as bad as Nasir's. And I mean, if Nasir gets to the end, like hypothetically, if her and Nasir get to final tribal in one season, I think she actually might have a shot beating him, even with his crazy good story. Because I feel like she's just she was much better social positioned. She was with Tommy and Lauren, but she didn't take up the threat. She had a good working relationship with everybody, so that even after the whole Dan thing happened and she's like crying on the beach, she still didn't get voted out. I mean, I think she's miles ahead of where Nasir was at this point in the game when she was at this point in the game. I don't think Nasir's done anything surprising. I'm actually kind of disappointed. I didn't expect Nasir to be some sort of strategical powerhouse, but I thought he would have more game than this. I mean, they're editing him terribly, or he just is horrible. Like because this is like for me, there's like Jeannie, there's Tiffany, and then like as far as like pure social gameplay, I'm talking like Nasir's probably like right there with them. Seriously. Because like all we've gotten is negative. I mean, they are either really editing him terribly, or what he's doing is what he's doing. You know, I mean, I just look at what I'm shown, and what I'm showing is that Nasir is not a good player.
It's hard for me to really assess him because we've gotten like negative from him, but like also like every other episode he gets positive stuff too. So it's really kind of hard for me to
positive like personal content.
I know, but at
never like
positive content is positive content. They usually try to portray players that get long to have these kind of positive contents, or players that are players that you want to feel bad for when they get.
About that.
I was going to say players that you feel bad for when they get voted out pre-merge. Sure. So,
which is pretty much everybody so far. I mean, we feel bad for Voce, we feel bad for Brad, we feel bad for JD. I feel like it's going to be another person that's gotten a big edit so far that goes home next week, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, like I said,
Nasir has gotten a big enough edit that he could get booed next episode, and he would still fit under this umbrella of like. We edited him like to have like a story, and now he's gone forever.
Yeah, again, like I'm not too high on this year. He's 8 out of 13, obviously, so like he's not too high. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I could see Nasir going home next episode, but I just don't really like personally like think it's gonna happen. But I could be wrong.
Yeah, I get that. All right, no, wait. Are you on number 8?
No, I said my number 8. It's Nasir. So you got number 7.
7.
Number 7 is Deshaun. I think Deshaun for me is someone who is in a good spot right now. He obviously manipulated Erica to kind of say a name, and that's something that is very risky in the game. And obviously that was a great move. And I think he's overall positioned the best out of the 3. I think he beats Sydney, and I think Danny is going to get targeted at the merge, whereas he isn't. So I think he's best positioned. The issue is if the trio gets targeted right now, I think they're not going to target Sydney because she's kind of a goat already. I can already tell. Like she's just like that Angelina type of personality. And then obviously they're not going to target Danny because it's Danny. He's Superman. That leaves Deshaun. So if the other 3 can get together, they're going to target Deshaun. Now that doesn't mean that I think that the 3 are going to get together. I actually don't. That's why I have like 3 people from the Lulu tribe below Deshaun. And so, yeah, I mean, I think Deshaun is 3rd out of the 6 people left in the Lulu tribe. I feel like that's not too harsh or the other way. I feel like it's more. The thing with me is I'm really positive in certain areas with Deshaun, but I'm very negative in other areas. And for me, it kind of averages out to directly in the middle of my 13 at 7.
Yeah, guess why I have number 7? Freaking devious licks, Deshaun. I love him. I think the highest I ever had him was like 5th though. So I mean 7th, 5th, not that much change. But yeah. So I just like I kind of in his Deshaun other play I don't know what to do with because like he's obviously in a good position, but I just have more confidence that like Sydney could make it farther than Deshaun, and if Danny isn't the merge, but I feel like he could make it farther than Deshaun. With Deshaun, it's just kind of like, honestly, it's a small chance, but I could see him going home at like the final pre-merge or like the merge boot as like a big blindside right before the merge, because like he's the one that like wants to throw the challenge. So like if Erica catches wind that Deshaun wants to throw a challenge, it could be like a big blindside against Deshaun. I think it's gonna happen, not necessarily, but it could always happen.
Maybe like Sydney flips on the trio, and it's Sydney, Erica, Heather, and Nasir.
I feel like out of the three, Deshaun is the most likely to get blindsided pre-merge. Before, like again, I'm not saying like that's going to happen. I'm like 7 out of 13, so I'm still pretty confident with Deshaun's game ability. But he's also been he wasn't really highly, like he always was consistent, but he wasn't really highly edited until this episode where they tried to throw a challenge. It kind of makes you think, are they editing him as a setup to vote him out, or just because he's going to go farther in the game? I'm not sure. So I kind of just round him out in the middle-ish at 7.
I get that. Yeah. Underdog 7.
You guys are crazy. Deshaun is not the most likely person of that trio to get flipped on. The most likely person is Sydney. She is number 7 for me because the way it's getting edited right now, there is no way she wins the game. She's
getting Angelina edit. Where did Angelina end up? Tell me. Where did Angelina end up?
Not winning the game. This is about who has the best chance to win the game.
At final 3.
And 0 votes. And 0. This is not about.
I think Sydney could win the game on. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
I could, but I still think that she's an Angelina type. The argument that you're going to make is that she's getting very negative content, and therefore, why in the world would she have like a long-term longevity in the game? And I think she doesn't. She has that long-term longevity, and just because someone gets a negative edit doesn't mean that they're just, all of a sudden they're good, going to be the next boot. Look at the last 3 boots: Voce, Brad, JD. They're all positive edits. All positive edits.
Well, I'm not saying she's going to be the next boot. I'm not putting it at number 13. But I don't think
the most vulnerable out of the trio is her. And if that's the case,
I don't think the trio is getting flipped on in general. But if it does, I think it's going to be her.
So what you're saying is that if they flip on the trio in this next vote, which we think there's a possibility of it happening.
I mean, there's a possibility of anybody getting voted out realistically.
Well, but that's, I mean, well, what kind of argument is that? Well, anybody could get voted out.
You're saying there's a possibility of there's a possibility of anybody getting flipped on.
I just feel like personally that the person that could be most susceptible to getting blindsided in that 3 is Deshaun.
Yeah.
And you just fundamentally disagree with me.
So. I feel like Deshaun is closer to Sydney and closer to Danny than Danny and Sydney are close to each other.
He's and that's why he'll get flipped on first.
I don't think either of the 2 of them really want to flip on him. They're going to want to flip on the other person.
Yeah, no. The Danny and Deshaun are going to get flipped on by everyone else. Is what I'm saying is the possibility.
Yes, exactly.
Danny's going to stick with Deshaun, but Sydney might flip over with like Heather.
But if Sydney flips, I think she votes for Danny over Deshaun.
Really?
She's hold on. I got you. So she votes for Danny, right? And then the 3 of them vote for Deshaun, and then Deshaun, Danny, whatever they vote for.
But I feel like Sydney is
no, hold on. What is that? A 3, 2, 1 vote. What is it? It's a 3. It's a 3. Who goes home?
That is I have no idea what scenario. I'm not basing my power ranking off a 3-2-1 hypothetical.
Well,
I'm just saying if
Sydney anything could happen. Anything could happen. Well, anything can happen. Exactly. And if we're using the scenario, this is how I debate.
I'm feeling like we're on like a Survivor Reddit discussion right here.
I know, right?
Oh yeah. Well, the thing is you brought up the scenario. So, I mean, if you think it's
I didn't bring up the scenario of a 3-2-1. Sydney's a smart enough player to at least consult with the other 4 people.
Sydney could vote for Danny, and that's the case, right?
Yes, and I think the other 3 will also vote for Danny.
Hypothetically, right? Like, hypothetically, right?
Then why don't you have Danny below all these people then if you think they're going to vote for Danny so bad?
Because I think Sydney is the most likely to get flipped on. I said if Sydney flips, they're going to vote for Danny over Deshaun. If I have Danny below Deshaun, spoiler, I have Danny below Deshaun. But I think Sydney is the most whatever. We don't know what's going to happen. Why are we getting too into this.
Look. I think it's just at the end of the day, we just have different opinions on it, and we can't really change our minds.
I'm obviously not going to change Spencer's mind on this.
You're not going to change my mind either. But
that's the way. We're on a podcast. We're supposed to be talking and arguing about that. That's the whole point. We're not arguing because we hate each other. We're good.
Yeah.
She just does her edit screams not making it very far past.
I personally think that her edit is one of two things. It's either like the Bradley edit where she's like the pre-merge villain, or she's the Angelina edit, and really it just depends on whether.
That's a lot of gray area between those two.
Exactly, and so that's why it's which one is it? Is she getting the long-term villain who ends up like
I don't
satisfyingly
think she's nearly as annoying as Bradley. Like Bradley, wasn't even villain; she was just annoying.
I'm more talking about like a pre.
Yeah, Sydney's self-aware. I feel like, which is something Bradley didn't have.
Yeah,
I don't know if Sydney's self-aware because I mean,
she's going. Did you hear her? She was like, "Oh, I can see why they want to get me out. I'm really pretty, and I'm the threat of threats, and I'm,
that's inherently socially unaware because she's gloating and she's saying,
it's for the confessional, though. It's for the confessional.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what you just said. It's almost like she's aware. Sorry, she's unaware that she's being socially unaware. It's like she's aware of what she's doing, but she doesn't connect that to being socially unaware.
Have you seen her Twitter?
I think. No, I haven't.
That should prove to you that she's socially aware.
Are you using Twitter for Survivor?
You're using Twitter for your rankings, buddy?
No, I'm saying that proves that she's socially aware. Look,
all she does is like retweet mean tweets at her.
Yeah. That's my point.
You know the rules. So
it's okay. It's okay, yes.
Let's move on to the next number. Now you spent like 15 minutes on Deshaun.
Okay.
I swear, whenever we talk about Deshaun, it's always like
it's always a 15-minute. Let's go with your number 7, Skylander.
My number 7. I already said it was Deshaun.
Got it.
And
then
7
your
was
6.
Yeah, it said 6 now.
Got it. What did you have for 7 again? You had what?
Sydney.
Sydney? Yeah, got it.
Cool. For number 6, I had Liana. She just doesn't really. Liana doesn't really fit anywhere for me. I just don't think Liana fits anywhere. I don't think she has a really good shot at winning the game. I think she's falling into the role that I also see Erica as, where I think if she gets to the end, I don't see her like having the balls to like really start to like just be aggressive and like be able to talk over somebody and like be assertive. I think that her and Erica kind of share that trait. Now I think Liana is a bit more assertive than Erica, and if they were like hypothetically dueling off in that scenario, I do think that Liana has more of it, but I think Liana doesn't have enough of it. And I also don't think Liana's gameplay is going to be very valued. It doesn't seem like she's being set up to make a big move at all. She seems to be more like a
cry about something because it didn't go her way.
Ooh,
and guess what?
Yeah.
Guess who I have freaking number 6? Liana. I have Liana at number 6. I like she's in a good position, right? But like I don't think she's going to win.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like eh. I'm crying that I didn't make a big move, but I could have made a big move. Boo-hoo. Feel bad for me.
She's getting to the merge. It's just like I don't see any chance with that.
She could be like the second to, like she might be one of those boring like second to merge with like third from merge boots.
I think she may beat Erica. And I think she may beat like someone like maybe a Tiffany and a Heather. That's 4.
She'll definitely beat Tiffany.
So Tiffany, Heather, and Erica. If those are the only people you can beat, you're probably not going to win the game because there's no way that
Erica
that would be so
honestly,
sad.
In my opinion, I think I don't even know if Tiffany could beat Heather. I feel like Tiffany is just like.
I think Tiffany is definitely probably the one that can beat the least people. Wait, could Tiffany beat Jeannie if Jeannie can get to the?
I feel like Jeannie will be able to like be a more social person than Tiffany.
She's more likable, I would say.
Yeah, definitely more likable.
But the issue is that the Yase people, and from what we've heard of in exit interviews from Voce, that tribe is super close.
Yeah, but also only 2 of them
rankings. Hold on, and there's more Yases than there is Uwas on the jury probably. And if that's the case, I'm worried that maybe they just vote along tribal lines.
I don't think they do that in Survivor 41. I mean, it's Survivor 41. You wouldn't.
I'm just saying, the people who are on Yase have been with Tiffany longer, so they may value her game
more reason to hate Tiffany.
Like,
be with her longer.
You said what?
I said more reason to hate Tiffany. As longer we be with her. Yeah, but yeah, I have Liana at number 6. I just kind of like.
Yeah, same.
I don't think she's one of them at this point. She cries about not making a movie, even though literally the tribal before that you could have made a big movie about Alexander.
Yep.
But whatever.
Boo-hoo.
Yeah. Feel bad for me. Yeah, no. Who's your number 6?
I know.
Dog?
My number 6 is my number 6 and 5 are people that I consider to be second in command to the person that's in charge in their tribe. So at number 6, I have Ricard.
And Riyadh.
Mm-hmm.
And Ricard.
Guess
yeah.
number 5 is Ricard for me. So it's like.
Yeah. So for Liana, I feel like she is on a tribe of 4 as opposed to a tribe of 3. And if Genie were to be able to find something or get safe somehow, Ricard's going to go versus I feel like Liana's a little bit more safe. And going into the merge, Yase might have a little bit of better shot. So that's why I have Liana ahead of Ricard. But Ricard said something in episode 3. He's like, well, I just have to wait and for hopefully Shan will make up her mind. That is a dead giveaway that he is second in command. He's not the one calling the shots, and he's not doing anything about it. He's content with that position. If he were somehow to make it to the end without Shan there, he might have a chance to win. But at the game he's playing, he's not the one that's driving the game.
Yeah, honestly, beta male energy from Ricard. Yeah, no, like I said, I have Ricard at number 5. So I mean, I don't know if we're talking about that. Yeah. But like I kind of agree with you. I think Liana and Ricard are both like these second in command. They're okay with being second in command for some reason. And I feel like if the weird circumstances were to happen, I feel like Ginny would end up, if she was like the only person right that was able to vote in UA, right? I think she'd vote for Ricard over Chantel. Yeah. So there's that. Now, is that situation gonna happen? No, but it's unless somehow she gets her idol and they both vote for her, I think she's gonna vote for Ricard. Which I mean, I'd love to see because I just don't like Ricard. So I mean, I'd love to see it happen. Honestly, and go home pre-merge, but at this point, I don't know. So yeah. So what?
Number 5 for me.
Yeah, number 5 for you.
Number 5 for me is Danny. I feel like out of that power trio, I think Sydney's the best position, and I feel like Danny is right there with her. I think Danny is in between Deshaun and Sydney as far as like who would get targeted. I think it would be Deshaun first, and then Danny second, and then Sydney last, and that's why I have Sydney higher up. But I do feel like overall that Danny is for sure someone who I'm confident in getting to the merge, and if Danny can play again, like I always say, like Jeremy, he has a shot to win, and that's why I'm continuing to keep him as my winner pick. And I feel like overall Danny's playing fine. He hasn't done anything stupid. He's but he's not and at the same time, even when he didn't want to throw a challenge, he understood why it was a good idea, and so he
actually was trying. Yeah, he did try to throw a challenge,
which is really really good on his part to get, like I really hate people like players who are like, no, it's just against who I am. No, like sometimes you have to do things that you don't necessarily agree with because you know that they're for the best, for you and your allies. And I think that was actually really impressive and big of Danny to put his personal, sports feelings aside in order to do something that he knows is a good move for him. And
but it didn't work out because UA sucks.
Yes, because UA sucks.
Yeah, and I already said my number 5. So Underdog, your number 5.
And I also already revealed my number 5, which is Liana. Like I said, she's second in command to Evie. Evie's the one calling the shots, but she is in a pretty good position. I don't see her going home pre-merge. So I mean, top 5 is a good spot to be in. But she definitely has an uphill battle once she gets to the merge. She needs to take out Evie in order to win the game, and then also probably needs a little bit more on her resume after that point as well in order to win the game. So, which she hasn't done. I mean, like I said, she kind of has big move-itis, which isn't good. We have seen someone like Brad go home because of that. So that she might not be able to make the optimal move when it is time to do that. But if she can, then she's in a pretty good spot to win the game.
Yeah, Liana, she's a nice spot.
Number 4 for me, I got Ricard. I think Ricard, for me, Ricard is someone who I think the only way he goes home is if Genie finds that idol. And obviously, with all of us having Genie very low, we're all banking, obviously, on Lulu not also finding the idol, obviously. And if that's the case, Ricard's not going home. They're not going to flip on each other. I actually think that they have a pretty good shot to win the challenge now that
what's it called? Now that JD
Mr. Basketball John
here,
Tribal, like Mr. Allen Iverson.
Jeannie's actually pretty underrated at challenges. I feel like she's kind of a badass in challenges, at least compared to the other two older women.
And a manipulator of this game.
And a manipulator of the game, bro. She sat on the last challenge.
Obviously, we've seen how Heather performs in these challenges, and we've also seen Tiffany and how she performs in these challenges. I feel like out of the older women, she's definitely the best out of all of them, and I think it really isn't even close. And obviously, Ricard and Chantel are definitely nothing to laugh about. So I feel like overall that tribe might actually have a pretty good shot to win. And I think if that's the case, we're looking at a Luvu probably tribal, because I think Yase has a zero shot of losing this challenge. And so I feel like Yase and Ua probably win, and Luvu will go. And even if Ua loses, as long as Luvu does not find that Dern idol, which I do not think is going to happen, we're all betting our whole list that it's not going to happen.
Wait, I do want that to happen though, so Ricard can go home. What are you talking about? I want.
Yeah, that's what I want to happen. I want something interesting. If that tribe goes to tribal council, I actually want to see something interesting as opposed to an obvious genie boot.
No, I don't want to see something interesting. I just want to see Ricard go home.
Which is
what you guys are talking about
in this case.
Even if it was interesting, I just want to see Ricard get out of that. Okay. I don't really like Ricard that much, guy. I don't know if you guys didn't.
Really?
Yeah, I know. It sounds kind of crazy,
right? I never knew.
Yeah.
What's your guys' number 4s?
My number 4 is, I never thought I'd see the day where I have Danny higher than you, but I do. Danny's my number 4. Basically the same sentiment. He's not going to go home pre-merge. I think that whole scared girls, alliance, I think it's just BS. I don't think that's going to happen, especially from what we saw with Erica and Sydney. And there's even the secret scene where like Sydney didn't seem too fond of Heather. I don't know. I don't see. I think that just kind of to psych us out. Now, only thing is that Danny could be that obvious merge boot if he doesn't win the first immunity challenge. But like you say, if you play like Jeremy, he win the game, So I don't know.
Correct.
I just think he's in a pretty good position. But I do think Sydney's in a better position, which is why I have Sydney higher than him. But
I agree.
Basically, the same sentiment I have about Danny that you had.
All right. What's your number 4 underdog?
My number 4 is also Danny. Like you said, I don't believe in that women's alliance at all. But come the merge, he's going to be a physical threat, which just keeps him out of the top 3. He's in the group that's controlling the Luvu tribe, but he's not the central figure of that, which is Deshaun. And I don't care what you guys say.
We agree with you. We just think if they flip, you're going to take out the central.
But if they don't flip, then he's the central figure, and then if he makes it to the end, he's got a great shot to win the game.
Correct.
That's why he's not at 13. He's at 7 for us.
I feel like someone who's controlling the game should not be exactly.
I don't really know if Deshaun's controlling the game per se. I feel like
he's really not.
I feel like Sydney's actually more the controlling, the dominating figure on the Luvu tribe. Just in my opinion.
You're making contradicting opinions there, Mr. Underdog. That's okay. This is for different days.
Oh my God. We don't want to go back to what we did with Deshaun. Let's just keep it simple, guys.
Let's go back to number 4. So you have Danny at number 4? Keep going.
Yeah, I do. And like I said, like his biggest challenge is going to be being seen as a physical threat. And I don't know how much he's really doing to diminish that. We just haven't seen Luvu at all. So I don't know what his strategy is besides like in episode 1, he's like, oh, I got to keep the tribe strong. And then like he's in a good standing in his tribe. Other than that, we haven't really heard from him strategically. But I think he's in a decent spot.
Yep.
I agree.
Agreed. So our top 3 isn't actually all the same because Underdog refuses to have Deshaun at the right place. All right. So what's your number 3?
So my third is Evie. I actually have in no specific order Sydney and Chantel in my top 2. I have Evie at 3. Evie, this is the first time that Evie's bumped out of top. Actually, I think I might have had Evie. Wait, hold on. Did I have Evie at 3rd, I think, a few weeks ago?
I think you always had her at 2nd.
Yeah, for me, this is the first time that Evie's been booted out of top 2. And it's not really because of anything she's done. We also have got like no screen time from her the past like 2 episodes because Yase hasn't gone to tribal. And honestly, I'm fine with that. Because we got so much of them in episode 2. It was like their episode. Literally, like I remember them ever showing Luvu except to Tarbat Nasir and then Ua except to to talk about JD and Chantel. I generally think that Evie's in a great spot, and I think when she gets the merge, she is in that middle tribe position, which is good, where her tribe isn't going to be the smallest one or the biggest one, and I don't think she's going to lose this next challenge, but before the merge, so she's going to go in with 4 members, which is great, especially if Luvu can go in with 5, and then it makes it even more better because then Ua can go with Yase, and it'll be 6. Oh wait, no, yeah, it'll be 6 to 5, which would be perfect. Or no, it would be 7 to 5, which is even better for them. And then after that, they can just pick off the Uas after that. So I feel like even if Luvu doesn't lose a challenge, I think that Yase is in the best position as a tribe, at least starting out. And the person who's in control of Yase is Evie. The reason she's not higher is because I do think that Sydney is in more control and Chantel is in more control, and I'm more confident that there's no shot that they get flipped on just based off where idols are and where numbers are at. But I definitely think that my number 2 person out of Chantel and Sydney can swap with Evie, but the person who's number 1 is definitively above everybody else right now for me.
Yeah, and for me, guess who's at 3? Evie.
Yep.
Obviously she's a good player. I usually give more of a reason why she's at number 3, not number 2. So let's do that again. I feel like when it comes to making the right strategical moves, I think that Evie just doesn't have the same ability as my 2 and 1. We saw that with the Voce vote, and so that's kind of bad in my opinion. That I feel like I have for her that I have more confidence in than my other 2 to have better choices. But at the end of the day, she's at number 3. Her stocks, while they've gone down, it hasn't made her enough for her to make a big movement. It's generally just because their tribe hasn't been able to get a lot of content because they've been on a little immunity streak. And I think once we get to the merge, is really going to see how good of a player Evie actually is, or if she just got lucky with her positioning.
Agreed.
I also have Evie at 3. That is is that the first time we've ever had the same person? No, probably not. But yeah, she's not great at playing the optimal move, which we have seen. Like Shan is controlling the green tribe, and she is good at making her optimal move.
Yeah,
which is something you have to knock Evie for. Also, physically, probably not going to be able to win too many challenges in the post merge. But she does seem to have Liana, Tiffany, and Xander all pretty loyal to her, which you can't really say for for Shan because Jeannie, I don't know how loyal she is, and you can't really say for Deshawn because I don't know how loyal Erica or Nasir is going to be to him. But I think in general, Evie is in. I mean, she's in the top 3, so that's a great spot for her to be in.
I'm just gonna go out on a wild limb. Do we all have the same number 1? Like, right? Like, I feel like we all.
Yes, we do. 1. We do, obviously.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do number. Right? Yeah, yes, of course.
Chantel, everybody good?
Yeah.
Let's do a number 2's then. So your number 2 is Sydney then, right? My number 2 is Sydney, which means I don't know. Is your number 2 Deshawn?
Yes, it is.
Oh my god! Oh my god! All right, whatever. So just Sydney, talk about her. Spencer, Sydney. What do you got to say about her? Yeah.
So for me, I think Sydney's in the best spot because no one wants to take her out because I think everyone thinks that they can beat her at the end. And I also think that she actually can beat people. Unlike, I feel like she can beat all of the goats pretty well, and I think she actually has a fighting shot against her own allies, which is really good for her. On top of that, she's going to get to the merge. We all know that. She has Deshawn as a number 1 solid ally, like a number 1. And she has someone in Deshawn who, if they get flipped on either pre-merge or post-merge, I think Deshawn will be the big blind side that happens, not Sydney. On top of that, she's not a physical threat, but she's at the same time, she's probably the strongest woman left in the game, so that also helps her. And she has 2 meat shields in different ways. Like Danny's a physical meat shield, and Deshawn's like the figurehead for like a big blind side. Those are 2 big meat shields, and in the end, she's probably controlling both of them. Honestly, that's how I feel like she is at 2nd place.
Yeah, much agreed. Obviously, it isn't much agreed with Underdog, but I do think she's basically in control of that Luvu tribe. I think Deshawn has kind of like a false sense of security right now, where I feel like Sydney would be okay with getting rid of Deshawn, even though he gave her all this info. And I think Deshawn's edit's kind of weird, where it gives me like good thoughts about him, but I also think like Deshaun is kind of getting a little cocky right now. Saying stuff like sus. Like you can't just go around saying someone's sus. And not. But on a more serious note, I think he's getting a little cocky. I feel like he's getting a little too comfortable with his positioning right now. And obviously Sydney is, but I feel like she is just simply just a better position than Deshaun. And I could honestly see Deshaun getting blindsided next episode and being like, wow, blindside. Oh my God, I did not see that coming. So, yeah.
Underdog.
So one thing that we haven't mentioned about Deshaun is that he has an extra vote. So even if Erica, Heather, and Nasir all...
Yeah, he hasn't gone to tribal council yet. No, he gets it at tribal council.
Yeah, he does.
Okay, same thing. And he knows that he's probably going to have it. Okay, Skylar, you're just trying to like egg me on at this point. He knows that he
doesn't have his advantage yet. He gets it at tribal council.
He's pretty sure that Evie is being straight up with him, so that gives him an extra vote. So even if it's like a deadlock, like Heather, Erica, and Nasir against,
you can't use your extra vote once the initial votes have been done, though. I'm just saying.
That is true.
But if he goes in planning to use it,
on top of that, why in the world would he waste it pre-merge?
I know, right?
Why? If there's a 3-3 deadlock,
but I don't.
The three who are controlling that tribe versus the 3 who aren't.
Yeah, but at the same time, but the thing is he won't know until after they're deadlocked, and then it's too late.
Okay, but still, going into the merge, he has that power of an extra vote. That's something that Evie doesn't have.
He might not get there. We're saying he might not get there.
Plus, he also has a relationship with Evie that he got on the what's it called? The summit versus Sydney also went to a summit and forged a negative relationship with Tiffany. She formed a negative relationship with Tiffany. So that's not good because
Tiffany sucks. Like I don't
Tiffany has no power in the game.
Tiffany is very different from Evie, and also I feel like Deshaun could get psyched out because Evie's like, well, like obviously Xander's going, and then like Xander's still there. He's kind of like, what's going on?
But and I feel like they're gonna reconnect, and then now he's aligned with one of the more powerful players, which could be good for his game. Versus, like I said, like Sydney is just formed a negative relationship with the other tribe, which could put her in a bad spot come the merge.
Well, also the thing is that like Deshaun hasn't even talked about his extra vote yet. Want to know why? Because he doesn't have it yet. He has to go to tribal council first.
Okay. Well, they're never gonna go to tribal council, so he's just never gonna get it.
No, but what the thing is though, like if he gets it like during tribal council, I think he's less inclined to play it if he like gets it at the tribal council. Like he's just gonna get it. Oh, we'll pick it up and just use it.
Well, yeah, that's true, but still, it's power that he has in the game that
we're saying he might get voted out right there. Though is what we're saying. A big blindside, if you will.
Yep. That's a big if.
Or at the the first or second vote of the merge, where an extra vote really doesn't help you there because you have such big numbers. No one uses an extra vote at final 12 or final 11.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I feel like that advantage isn't useful unless he can get to like final 9 or 8, and even then, it's still not like I feel like extra votes are best used at like 6 or 5, and for that reason. I just see no shot where he gets to 6 or 5.
Really? I could see that still happening. But, I mean, I think Deshaun right now, while I obviously I'm at 7 out of 13, so I kind of have middle-ish for him. Yeah. I could see him going a long way. I could, to Deshaun's, I've been kind of bashing Deshaun, sorry, I've said. But, I think Deshaun is in an okay position right now. If they're going to go with the obvious vote, then Deshaun isn't going to get voted out. So there's that. And but I do feel like Ricard is the most blindsidable. I don't even know that's the word, but blindsidable person in that 3-person alliance.
I feel like another aspect to Deshaun game that's really working well for him is that he's got Danny as a meat shield for him right now. If they both make it to the merge, which they're probably going to do, and they're aligned, and he's working with Danny, Danny's going to be the one to target it at the merge instead of Deshaun. While Deshaun could win just as many challenges as Danny. He's physically very capable. And on the puzzles, we've seen him pull out that comeback in episode 1 against 2 tribes that were ahead of him. And then he also did a puzzle in episode 2. So he's a very capable person in challenges. He can win some immunities when he needs to.
Which could only raise his threat level because now he's even more of a social threat than Danny. And then on top of that, if you're saying now he's a challenge threat just like Danny, that raises his threat level even more.
But he's not going to be viewed as a threat in the same way that Danny is.
Exactly. And so if he is on top of the fact that he's also a social threat, I think that's not overall good for his game. I personally just think Deshaun is a big blunt. I don't know when it's going to happen. It could be at this next vote. It could be at the first vote to merge, second or third or fourth.
Yeah, I have a feeling that Deshaun's vote off is going to be a blindside.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think Deshaun goes because he doesn't have the numbers. Like Deshaun is going to be a big monumental vote in this season, like the Sophie vote of this season, in my personal opinion, and that's why I feel like he's not going to win because he's going to be like that vote.
Or it wins. I don't know. Or we always talk way too much about Deshaun. Deshaun gets way.
I am a Deshaun stan. # devious licks drad.
Okay, so you want to just go to our number ones? We all
know who it is. It's Shan.
Let's just all praise Shan.
Oh yeah, the music came back. I like the music. So it's I really like the music. I'm glad they brought it back.
Underdog, that was awesome.
But she should have voted that Ricard though, because oh my god, I don't like her.
Yeah,
that's that. At least we finally kind of got confirmation that Ricard and Chantel number one, because they didn't really ever say that, and they finally just said in this episode, "Oh yeah, we're number one" or whatever. Even though Chantel said JD was number one a couple episodes ago, it's whatever. It's in the past. But yeah, I feel like Chantel's way. Obviously, we've seen her make more apt moves that will better her situation than Evie, and then we just simply haven't been able to see if Sydney can make apt moves at Tribal Council because she just hasn't gone there yet. We haven't got that. Forged in fire, So.
Hey guys, I'll be right back. Just talk about Chantel being awesome for a little bit, okay?
Yeah, anything about Chantel about being awesome? Underdog?
Yeah, so obviously the humming music came back today, which just confirms that she's getting a winner's edit. That move on JD to get his steal vote and then vote him right out is one of the most masterful pre-merge moves I've ever seen in Survivor. That was a game-changing move worthy of being Chantel? On Game Changers. Now, even if she were getting voted out next episode, she'd still be well more worthy than Haley Ford to be on Game Changers.
Ford, bro. That's crazy.
I will say though, I think that move only works with JD, but at least she knew that JD.
Yeah, she knew her optimal move in that situation, and she was able to act really paranoid and get away with it.
And JD believed her. It's bro, she's always acting so paranoid whenever you go to Tribal Council.
Yeah, but she's I can see in her eyes that she's being genuine, which she wasn't. I can see in
your eyes that she's being genuine. So genuine. Such a genuine person.
I've watched that scene back 3 times now.
Yeah, we know you're a JD fan. It hurts, but he'll be back. Don't worry, he'll be back. Yeah, no, I think Chantel is just right now the best at making the optimal moves for her. The Brad vote was probably the most optimal move for her in that situation. The Sarah vote was probably the most optimal, and then the JD at that point in the game, which I wish it was a card, but I'll admit it's not the most optimal move to vote out Ricard there. But it's beating fun blindside. But yeah, so Chantel's definitely best player so far. Now, I do think she could be a decoy winner. We've seen that in the show before. That's the one bad thing about her, but I have her at number one. It's
so for me, I look at my top 3, which in this order is at the top, or in third place Evie, second place Sydney, first place Chantel. I see the difference between Chantel and Evie is that Evie's in less control, and the difference between Chantel and Sydney is that Sydney can't win, or at least doesn't win as often as Chantel does. And I feel like those are the main differences. Is she's in more control than anybody, and she wins against almost anybody. And except maybe.
I think the problem with Sydney is we just haven't seen her go to Tribal Council yet, so we really don't know that much. She's still in a good position though, but we just haven't really been able to see if.
I'm just not super confident that she can beat people like Danny and Deshaun and Chantel and Evie.
Yeah, but I feel like Sydney has a higher chance of getting there than Deshaun, than Danny. Sure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's kind of why. But obviously, we all agree that Chantel right now is the front runner to win, obviously, unless we get some major, bamboozlement in the next episode. I don't see her going home anytime soon.
Yep, I agree.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Any final thoughts on the season, and then we'll get Underdog's math numbers.
I guess right now the Survivor Reddit I haven't been on in a while, but they're just simply wrong. They're trash on the season.
We got character content. Well, that's too much character content. I'm used to seeing gameplay now, so they should just be consistent. This season sucks.
I know, right? Be consistent, bro. Like, it's like you're bad. No, so
fire Jeff Probst. Seriously, what are you doing?
Like maybe we don't all agree that he's a good executive producer, whatever he is. I don't know what he is, but like you can't have Survivor without Jeff Probst, right? Bro. It's I don't know what they're on some like acid trip or something like that. They hate the season. They hate me because they ain't me. Whatever. Said.
I love that quote.
Yeah, good episode title. Good episode title.
They hate me because they ain't me.
It's facts. It's facts.
It's so on brand for Sydney.
I know, right? It's so good.
Underdog,
so good.
Give us the number crunch.
So last place, Jeannie. 12th place we have Erica. 11th place we have Heather. 10th place is Tiffany.
That's my list.
9th place, Xander.
That's my list. That's my list.
8th place is Nasir. That is Nasir.
That is Nasir.
That is Nasir.
That is
7th place.
Nasir. He's right there. Nasir. Look at him.
That is Nasir. In 7th place we have Liana. That's not your list. The 6th place we have #DeviousLixDrad.
Oh my god.
In 5th place we have Ricard.
That's my list.
Skylander's favorite person. At 4th place we have Danny.
That's my list. At
3rd place we have Sydney.
Oh, Sydney. Okay.
And 2nd place we have Evie, and of course number 1 unanimous. It's Shane.
Yeah, Chantel.
Let's go.
That makes sense. Any big surprises there or no?
The fact that Deshaun is number 6.
Yeah,
that blows
I think
my
it's
mind.
just Deshaun and Sydney got dragged down and
because I had Sydney at 7. You guys had Deshaun at 2. I had Sydney at 7 and Deshaun at 2. You guys had Deshaun at 7 and Sydney at 2. So it was that was exactly.
Deshaun ends up at what, 5th or 4th or something like that.
He had an average of 5.3, which put him in 6th place.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, there you go. There you have it, viewer. Whoever you are out there spending time doing nothing but listening to 3 idiots.
Also, sorry for not being here last week and having the math.
It was
deepest apologies.
No.
Math boy is back. Let's go.
Yeah, it's okay. I get it. You got to take a break. Sometimes
you got to be Brad in cross country.
Got to flex my legs.
We're just so
never skip leg day.
Yep.
Sure, let's go with that. What's going on over at Skylander's channel?
This weekend I got pretty big video, like a 40-minute video for the 10th anniversary of Skylanders. That's cool. And then for the rest of the month, it's gonna be a really big edited video. It's gonna be a good video. You should watch it.
What's going on at Survivin'? Tell me about that.
I may or may not have a video with Underdog coming soon. So there's that. And I also posted I'm also posting memes apparently now for Survivor. So
meme channel.
Dude, guys, go and look up Survivin'. These memes are low key. He has one about Deshaun Suss, and it's oh my, it's so funny.
And then I have Survivor 41 slander. So I guess I'm a part-time meme channel, also part-time actual Survivor YouTuber. So yeah. I should have an actual video uploaded in the next week on Survivin'. So there's that.
There you go. And Underdog, what's going on over there in the graveyard that is your channel?
There may or may not also be a collab with Survivant on my channel. I don't know. It might come out in 40 days, but it is out there. I also have a collab with Russell Muscle TV. I also have a video that I am almost done with the script. I actually worked on it a little bit over the weekend. Didn't get it done, but at least I worked on it.
I couldn't imagine writing a script. I just that's not.
I love it because then I have the ability to be funny, and it I don't have to think and pause. If I stutter over the joke, I can just redo it, and then it's guaranteed to be funny.
Yeah, so good. Yeah, all my videos on Skylar Gamer TV are scripted.
That's that Peridium type of thing where he's
funny, idled out is kind of the person that I would say my scripted videos are the most because I try to include some funny line. I mean, obviously idled out has an insanely good sense of humor, which I could just never match. But shout out idled out.
Did he ever change the guys?
He did.
He did. Yeah, he did.
Honestly, best move in his situation to do.
He had no good move in that situation.
That's tough.
You hate to see
I don't
it,
think
but
he really wanted to, but I think it was just a matter of like why. At that point, it's like why.
Yeah, just don't be
sucks.
controversial. I guess
That
sucks.
sucks.
Right. Whatever.
Well, that's it, guys. I mean, next week we're looking at two videos on both Monday and Tuesday. We're taking a break tomorrow. Go watch football. Go talk to your family. Hug your mom. I don't know, whatever. And then on Monday and Tuesday we'll get videos previewing next week. We're about to hit episode 5. I think that's insane. I think
that
that's
is kind of
guys.
Insane that we're almost halfway through the season.
Y'all should just be proud of yourself for getting close to the merge. Probably our last pre-merge episode coming up. So bask in the pre-merge, hype glory. And again, guys, thank you for the continued support. None of this happens without you guys here. Seriously, we're a bunch of idiots talking into microphones to nobody. If you guys aren't here watching it, thank you for the continued support. And if you guys can continue to click, I will continue to make. And again, guys, thank you. I will talk to you guys in the next one.